Chapter 1 Becoming the Head of a Sect Right After Crossing Over. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Qingfeng Mountain outside Qingfeng City, Qingfeng Sect. Qingfeng Sect was founded by Taoist Qingfeng more than 100 years ago. At its peak, there were hundreds of disciples in the sect. It was famous within 100 miles and was the #1 sect in Qingfeng City. Times have changed. Today, Qingfeng Sect has already declined, while other sects have taken the opportunity to rise. Qingfeng Sect was jointly suppressed by other sects, and now there are only a dozen big and small fish. Alas, Master is dead, and the eldest brother was severely injured. I think the Qingfeng Sect will be disbanded soon. Brother, you are right. I heard that Brother Zhang has contacted the Tiger Fist Sect and is ready to join the sect with several brothers. Brother, I have heard that the Tiger Fist Sect has developed to such a scale in just over 10 years. I heard that there is a first-class force behind it. Brother Zhang and his men are going to be prosperous. Brothers, the Qingfeng Sect is like this now. If we still stay here, there will be no bright future. Why don't we learn from Brother Zhang and join the Tiger Fist Sect together? Brother Zhou is right. It's not that we are ungrateful. We joined the Qingfeng Sect to make a name for ourselves, not to die. The remaining dozen disciples of the Qingfeng Sect carried their bags and ran away in an instant without saying hello. All this was seen by Qin Ye. Brother, if all these people run away, there will be no one left in the sect. Why don't you stop them from going down the mountain? A teenage girl next to Qin Ye said angrily. She was Qin Ye's junior sister Wu Xianer. They have changed their minds. If they want to go down the mountain, they can go down the mountain. It's not necessarily a good thing to stay here. Qin Ye smiled indifferently and said. But if they all leave, what will happen to the sect? Don't worry about the sect. I have already thought of a way. Really? I knew that the eldest brother can do everything. Wu Xianer smiled happily, looking at Qin Ye with eyes full of admiration. In fact, Qin Ye at this time is not the previous Qin Ye, but a cuckoo in the magpie's nest, and the current soul comes from a otaku in the 21st century. For some reason, the soul traveled to this world and occupied this body, but what he didn't expect was that the ending was not very good. The sect where his original body was located had just experienced an accident and was on the verge of bankruptcy. The old leader of Qingfeng Sect went to the city lord's mansion for a banquet half a month ago, but encountered a conspiracy on the way back. When he was found, he was already dead. Qin Ye accompanied the old leader to the banquet at that time. He was also seriously injured and dying, which gave him the opportunity to occupy the magpie's nest. The disciples in the sect saw that the old sect master was dead and the eldest brother was seriously injured, so the people's hearts naturally scattered. Qin Ye understood them. It was like a company. The boss died, the successor was also not good, and the employees naturally ran away, so it was not so difficult to accept. However, what Qin Ye was facing now was the problem of survival. The old sect master was dead, and he was now the new sect master. Now there were only him and his junior sister in the entire sect. He was still very unfamiliar with this world and didn't know how to go on. The words he just said were just to comfort Wu Xianer. He had no idea for a while and returned to his room. Just when Qin Ye was worried about the future, a light and ethereal sound suddenly sounded in his mind. Ding! The Strongest Sect system is activated. Ding! The startup is complete, and the host Qin Ye has been bound. Ding! The ultimate task is released. Ding! Please lead the sect to dominate the world with the help of this system and become the strongest sect in the world. How can a sect not have a talented disciple? Please accept the disciple as soon as possible. The Strongest Sect system. Qin Ye's body trembled. He was familiar with this. Although he was a otaku, it was precisely because he was an otaku that he was a senior novel fan. How could he not know about the system? The time travel gods really didn't lie to me. There really was a system in the time travel. After calming down, Qin Ye quickly opened the personal panel in the system. Host, Qin Ye, Identity, Qingfeng Sect Master, Physique, Mortal, Cultivation, 5th level of physical training, Disciple, None, Task, lead the Qingfeng sect to rise and become the strongest sect. When Qin Ye saw that his physique was that of a mortal, he sighed. This body was indeed useless. If it weren't for the system, I'm afraid he might not be able to save his life. It's really too dangerous to survive in such a world. Although his 5th level of physical training absolutely suppressed all his junior brothers in Qingfeng sect, if he walked out of Qingfeng mountain, what would this 5th level of physical training mean? His master's 9th level physical training was attacked by someone this time, so if he could hide, Qin Ye decided to hide, and never cause trouble before he had absolute strength. Although there is a system now, with the current situation of Qingfeng sect, which disciple is willing to join. Not to mention that they have high talent. You know, the disciples with high talent have long been taken away by those big sects, and those with a little talent will not join third-rate sects like Qingfeng sect. Only those disciples who really have no sects will choose to join Qingfeng sect, but now the conditions of Qingfeng sect have not attracted disciples to join. Qin Ye has a headache. Ding! Newbie gift packs are being distributed. Chapter 2 Generous Newbie Gift Pack. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Newbie gift pack. Qin Ye's eyes lit up. How could he forget the novice gift pack? The system's products must be top quality. Whatever you need, you get it. Ding! The novice gift pack has been distributed. Do you want to receive it? Receive it. Qin Ye did not hesitate and immediately received the novice gift pack. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining the mysterious physique, the flying fairy body. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining the supreme skill, 8-9 mysterious skill. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining 500 lower grade spirit stones and 1000 body training pills. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining an opportunity to irrigate his cultivation and improve his cultivation to the innate realm. With a few ding-ding sounds in his mind, Qin Ye jumped up excitedly. Whatever you need, you get it. This novice gift pack is too generous. This is definitely going to take off on the spot. In an instant, Qin Ye's cultivation was improved to the innate realm, without any obstacles or movement. Qin Ye's physique was also gradually changing, and it was not until noon the next day that he finished digesting it. At this time, Qin Ye's temperament had changed a lot. His face was round, his temperament was transcendent, and his eyes were bright. Qin Ye couldn't wait to open his personal panel. Host. Qin Ye, Identity, Qingfeng Sect Master, Physique, Feitian Body, Cultivation, First Level of Innate, Kung Fu, 8-9 Mysterious Art, Disciple, None, Task, Lead Qingfeng Sect to rise and become the strongest sect. Sure enough, his personal attributes had changed a lot. Qin Ye clicked on Feitian Body, and an introduction to Feitian Body appeared. Feitian Body, one of the 12 immortal bodies in the True Immortal Continent, inherited from the immortal world, can break through the limitations of time and space and come and go freely. Qin Ye silently gave a thumbs up. As for 8-9 Mysterious Art, Qin Ye knew something about it. It came from the Hongwang Chanjiao Kung Fu, and Erlang Shenyang Jian practiced this Kung Fu. When he saw his own cultivation, Qin Ye couldn't help laughing. He has absorbed the memories of the original owner and knows that he is in the Qin dynasty. He is also a master in the innate realm of the Qin dynasty. The city lord of Qingfeng City is only a master at the peak of the 9th level of physical training. If Qin Ye surrenders to the Qin dynasty, he can at least be a city lord, with endless wealth and glory. However, Qin Ye will definitely not surrender to the Qin dynasty. Not to mention that it is impossible for Qin Ye to work, let alone work for those emperors. If he fails, his whole family will be executed. It is better to live happily in Qingfeng sect. Besides, the system will not give him this opportunity to become an official. Just when Qin Ye was thinking about it, the voice of the system came to his mind again. Ding! For the development of the sect, please ask the host to accept a genius disciple as soon as possible. Genius disciple. Qin Ye had a headache. There was no genius in this small Qingfeng city. Even if there was, it would have been plundered by other sections. However, Qin Ye had no choice now. He could only try his luck. Qin Ye immediately called Wu Xianer over. Wu Xianer came over with a sad face and called out, "Big brother. Junior sister, now there are only you and me in the entire Qingfeng sect. Master is gone, so I will be the head of the sect and you will be the elder. Qin Ye said in a deep voice. Wu Xian'er did not object to Qin Ye becoming the head of the sect, but said bitterly, Big brother, but now there are only two of us, and there is no master to teach us. I am afraid that other sects will take the opportunity to annex us. Wu Xian'er's worry is not unreasonable. Although the great Qin dynasty can suppress the world, it has no way to face the sects in the world. The change of dynasties has the shadow of the sects in many of them. What's more, many dynasties are supported by the sects behind them. Although the Qingfeng sect has declined, Qingfeng Mountain is still there after all, and there is still some foundation. Other sects naturally want to annex the Qingfeng sect. Junior sister, don't worry. With me here, other sects can't make plans against us. Qin Ye said confidently. With his current Xiantian realm cultivation, he can walk sideways in Qingfeng city. If he doesn't make plans for them, they will burn incense and worship Buddha. Junior sister, these are some spirit stones and body training pills. Take them to practice. We will go down the mountain to recruit disciples in 3 days. Qin Ye took out some spirit stones and body training pills and gave them to Wu Xian'er. Wu Xian'er took the spirit stones and body training pills and asked in shock, Master, how can you have so many spirit stones and body training pills? This body training pill is of top quality. It has only appeared once in Qingfeng city before and was bought by the city lord's mansion. Qin Ye naturally wouldn't tell her about the system, and even if he explained it, she wouldn't understand, so he said, Junior sister, I can only tell you that I have obtained a mysterious inheritance. My Qingfeng sect is about to rise, and I will lead Qingfeng sect to stand on the top of the continent. Well, I believe in Master. Wu Xian'er nodded heavily. During these 3 days, Wu Xian'er practiced in seclusion, while Qin Ye traveled all over Qingfeng sect. His impression of Qingfeng sect can only be summed up in one word, poor. Not to mention herbs, spirit stones and exotic beasts, there are not even many secret books, and the valuable things have long been taken away by other disciples. 3 days passed in a flash. Wu Xian'er came out of seclusion. Qin Ye checked Wu Xian'er's cultivation, and found that she had broken through to the 5th level of physical training. Qin Ye took Wu Xian'er down the mountain and headed straight for Qingfeng city. After the two arrived at Qingfeng city, they went to a large square in the central area of Qingfeng city. This square is usually used to celebrate festivals. Later, it was idle and rented to major sections. In order to recruit people or disciples, some minor forces in the major sect set up registration points in this square. Qingfeng sect also rented a stall here for a long time before, but later it was cancelled because it could not afford the rent. After arriving at the square, it was found that there were still many people in the square today. Qin Ye had been here several times, and it was impossible to have so many people at ordinary times. Master, I'll go and ask. Wu Xian'er said, and walked into the crowd. After a while, Wu Xian'er came back and said to Qin Ye with a bad face, Master, today is the day when the 5 major sects jointly recruit disciples. I think we should come again after a while. Chapter 3 Tiger Fist Sect. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Originally, there were 6 major sects in Qingfeng city, namely Qingfeng sect, Tiger Fist sect, Black Bear sect, Iron Sword sect, White Sand sect, and Qingtian sect. However, Qingfeng sect has declined in recent years and was kicked out of the 6 major sects, leaving only 5 major sections. However, unlike Qingfeng sect, the development of these 5 major sects has been stable, and each sect has hundreds of disciples, unlike Qingfeng sect, which only has 2 of his brothers and sisters. At this time, the square was crowded with people, which gave Qin Ye the opportunity to recruit disciples. If it were like usual, I don't know how many days it would take to recruit, Qin Ye said at the time. No, let's rent a stall. Qin Ye took Wu Xian'er and quickly found the deacon of the city lord's mansion who rented a stall and rented a small stall. As time passed, more and more people came, most of whom were elders in the family who brought the younger generation to try their luck. Although there were no geniuses that were rare in 100 years, the occasional talented ones would attract exclamations. Just now, the Iron Sword sect recruited a 12-year-old boy who had already reached the 3rd level of physical training at such a young age. Such a boy either had a strange encounter or his family had some power. An hour later, Qin Ye's stall was almost deserted. Occasionally someone came to ask about it, but they would leave quickly. As long as the locals in Qingfeng City knew what the situation of Qingfeng Sect was, they would naturally not let their children and nephews enter the declining Qingfeng Sect, looking at the long queues in front of the stalls of other sects, and then looking at the front of his own. Wu Xian'er said anxiously, "Master, this won't work. Let's go and snatch people." Qin Ye has the system in his hand, how could he do such a thing that loses his grace? He yawned and said, "My Qingfeng sect is destined to be the world's largest sect. Those who are destined to join can join. Those who are not destined to join will lose their lives. They will regret it in the future." As soon as Qin Ye finished speaking, 5 or 6 people came over. The middle-aged man who led them laughed and said, "What a big tone, the world's largest sect, you are not afraid of slipping your tongue when you say such big words. Who are you?" Qin Ye glanced and asked. "I am the outer sect elder of the Tiger Fist sect. I heard that the old man died a few days ago. There are only 2 of you left in your Qingfeng sect. I see that you brothers and sisters have some talent. Why don't you join my Tiger Fist sect?" The middle-aged man said proudly, the arrival of the Tiger Fist sect naturally attracted a lot of attention. After all, the Tiger Fist sect is now in its heyday and its strength has long replaced the Qingfeng sect. The Tiger Fist sect came to cause trouble for the Qingfeng sect, so naturally there were fewer people who were watching. The leader of the Qingfeng sect is dead. It seems that the news is true. The one who was attacked outside the city a few days ago was the old leader of the Qingfeng sect. The old leader of the Qingfeng sect was attacked on the way back from the city lord's banquet. Could it be the city lord's mansion? Hush! You are asking for your life. You even dare to make irresponsible remarks about the city lord's mansion. I heard that the remaining disciples of the Qingfeng sect ran away and scattered, and most of them were accepted by the Tiger Fist sect. Now the Tiger Fist sect is looking for trouble with the Qingfeng sect. This is going to be a good show. Ha! Qin Ye suddenly laughed. What are you laughing at? The middle-aged man asked puzzled. I'm laughing at you, idiot. Qin Ye chuckled. You. The middle-aged man looked furious. I am now the head of Qingfeng sect, and I am at most an inner disciple of your Tiger Fist sect. I am not a head of the sect, but an inner disciple of yours. I laugh at you for being an idiot, isn't it right? A ruined sect that can't last for a few days dares to speak nonsense here. My Tiger Fist sect is willing to take you in because you have some talent. Humph, you are so ungrateful. The middle-aged man snorted coldly, and his face turned cold. After saying that, he signaled a look to a Tiger Fist sect disciple next to him. The Tiger Fist sect disciple received the look from the outer sect elder and walked out with a sneer. Qin Ye, don't be shameless. The elders like you and give you a chance. If you don't cherish it, don't delay the future of Sister Wu. Zhang Zuran, you are shameless. You betrayed the sect and switched to Tiger Fist sect. I, Wu Xian'er, don't have a senior brother like you. Wu Xian'er scolded. It turns out that this disciple of the Tiger Fist sect was originally a disciple of the Qingfeng sect. A few days ago, he changed his allegiance to the Tiger Fist sect and entered the Tiger Fist sect as an outer disciple of the Tiger Fist sect. As a newcomer, he naturally wanted to perform well. If he could gain the favor of the outer sect elders, it would be of great benefit to him in the future. How dare you, a traitor who flatters and seeks favor, bark in front of this master? Qin Ye said in a flat tone. Qin Ye, I respect you as my senior brother. Since you don't know what's good for you, I won't be polite anymore. Zhang Zuran sneered and slapped Qin Ye. Humph. You are seriously injured and haven't recovered yet, but you still dare to recruit disciples here. I will teach you a lesson today and let you know what is reality. Zhang Zuran suddenly attacked. naturally it was the instruction of the middle-aged man next to him. The Tiger Fist sect and the Qingfeng sect had conflicts before, and the Tiger Fist sect had long wanted to annex the Qingfeng sect, but there was no perfect opportunity. Now that the opportunity is in front of them, they will naturally not miss it. Qin Ye did not show any fear when Zhang Zuren suddenly attacked, but a smile appeared on his face. What he thought came true. Yes, he deliberately provoked them to attack. It is very difficult for Qingfeng sect to recruit an ordinary disciple in its current situation, let alone a genius disciple. It just so happens that these people came to the door, which gave Qin Ye the opportunity to make a move. As long as he showed his strength, he could naturally attract disciples to join. Qin Ye also wanted to hide, but sometimes he couldn't hide because of the situation. Before Zhang Zuren's palm wind reached him, Qin Ye also slapped out a palm. When the two palms met, Zhang Zuren screamed and flew out. The middle-aged man looked at Qin Ye in astonishment and frowned, saying, "Are you healed?" Zhang Zuren's cultivation level was at the peak of the 4th level of physical training, and he was only half a foot away from the 5th level of physical training. If he hadn't recovered from his injury, Qin Ye would not have been able to knock him away with one palm. However, as far as he knew, Qin Ye was seriously injured before and it was impossible for him to recover in such a short time. Does Qingfeng sect have any treasures? The middle-aged man thought to himself. Whether there is a treasure or not, let's capture him first. The middle-aged man snorted coldly and said, "It seems that Sect Master Qin has just taken the position of the head of the sect, and he has already ignored our Tiger Fist sect. Well, let this elder come to meet Sect Master Qin." The two words Sect Master Qin were emphasized by him. He was confident that he could easily capture Qin Ye with his 8th level physical training. The middle-aged man's words immediately caused a commotion. Chapter 4, Defeat with One Move. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Look, Elder Lu is about to make a move. Elder Lu is an outer sect elder of the Tiger Fist sect, with the 8th level of physical training. It is rumored that if he had not offended the leader of the Tiger Fist sect when he was young, he would have become one of the inner sect elders. The Tiger Fist sect has always been at odds with the Qingfeng sect. Now that the Qingfeng sect is in trouble, it is natural that a tiger in a plain is bullied by a dog. Hee, the water is deep here. The Tiger Fist sect has long been eyeing the Qingfeng sect's base, but it has not had a chance because the other 4 forces have been involved. Now there are only a few small fish and shrimps left in the Qingfeng sect, and the Tiger Fist sect will naturally not miss this opportunity. Just now, Qin Ye's move to teach Zhang Zuren a lesson attracted many people to come and watch the show, and now that Elder Lu of the Tiger Fist sect is about to make a move, it naturally caused a boil in the audience. The palm that Sect Master Qin used to teach my outer sect disciple just now was clean and neat. I think Sect Master Qin's cultivation has improved, so let this elder come to fight for a while. As he said, he walked towards Qin Ye step by step, and the aura of the 8th level of physical training on his body pressed towards Qin Ye. However, this momentum had no effect on Qin Ye at all. He did not notice that Qin Ye had a smile of success on his lips. Beat the younger one, and naturally the older one will come out. As long as the outer elders of the Tiger Fist sect are defeated, more people will naturally come out. As long as these people are defeated, Qin Ye will instantly become famous in Qingfeng City, so that he can attract geniuses to join the Qingfeng sect. It would be best to attract the heads of the other 5 major sects and defeat them one by one, so that the Qingfeng sect will soar to the sky. At this time, Qin Ye no longer chose to hide, because his Xiantian realm cultivation was invincible in Qingfeng City, and he could come and go freely. Of course, if he left Qingfeng City, he would still have to hide. After all, there were countless masters in the outside world, and no one knew whether 1 or 2 old immortals would appear. Qin Ye had a smile on his lips. The Tiger Fist sect was really his lucky star. He came to the door to be slapped in the face. He just didn't know if those who attacked his master had the Tiger Fist sect. Seeing that his momentum had no effect on Qin Ye, Elder Lu frowned slightly, and became more certain that Qin Ye had a treasure on him. Otherwise, how could the 5th level cultivation of physical training be able to withstand his momentum? The treasure was attractive, and Elder Lu was more determined to capture Qin Ye and force Qin Ye to hand over the treasure. Shameless. Wu Xian'er cursed angrily and said to Qin Ye, Master, I'll do it. Qin Ye shook his head and said, You are not his opponent. Wu Xian'er had just broken through the 5th level of physical training, so how could he be the opponent of Elder Lu, who was at the 8th level of physical training? If you are not my opponent, don't challenge me. Qin Ye shook his head slightly at Elder Lu. Elder Lu was so angry that his eyes were spitting fire. Qin Ye, this kid, had just become the head of the sect, and he kept talking about me, and he didn't take himself seriously. If you had the strength to show off here, he would have tolerated it, but a kid at the 5th level of physical training, showing off in front of him, he couldn't tolerate it. Okay, let me learn from Master Qin's high skills. Elder Lu glared at Qin Ye and shouted loudly. You don't need to learn from me. If you can take my palm, I will turn around and leave. Qin Ye said calmly. What? Qin Ye's appearance immediately caused an uproar, everyone was shocked. Even the old master of Qingfeng sect would not dare to say that he defeated Elder Lu with one palm, let alone Qin Ye, who was at the 5th level of physical training. Could it be that Qin Ye had just become the master of Qingfeng sect, and he was so arrogant that he didn't know where to go? Even Elder Lu thought so. After all, even if Qin Ye had treasures, it would be impossible to defeat him by leaps and bounds, let alone defeating him with one move. It was simply nonsense. Then Elder Lu became even more angry. He was belittled by Qin Ye several times, and even his good temper could not stand it. Humph. Let alone taking your palm, what if I take your palm 100 times? Elder Lu said conceitedly. As soon as he finished speaking, he felt a strong palm wind coming towards him. Elder Lu's face suddenly changed, and he wanted to dodge, but a strong momentum locked him, making him unable to move at all. Not good. When Elder Lu realized that it was not good, the palm wind had already swept his chest. With a puff, Elder Lu spit out blood and was immediately knocked back more than 10 meters. The disciples of the Tiger Fist sect hurried over to help him up. Elder Lu's eyes were full of confusion and astonishment. How could Qin Ye, who was at the 5th level of physical training, be so strong? No, this couldn't be the 5th level of physical training at all. That momentum and pressure were definitely more than the 5th level of physical training. Even he had never felt such a strong pressure from the sect, unless it was the innate realm. By the way, only the innate realm could hurt him so easily. He had been practicing for nearly 30 years, but he had only reached the 8th level of physical training. Qin Ye had already achieved the Xiantian realm at such a young age, which was the height he admired. How unfair was God, and he spat out another mouthful of blood on the spot. I said you couldn't take my palm. Qin Ye chuckled and said. Elder Lu spat out a mouthful of blood again when he heard it. Today's incident was purely his own fault. If he hadn't come to Qin Ye for trouble, how could he have been slapped in the face by Qin Ye? Elder Lu was defeated in one move, which immediately caused quite a stir. This Elder Lu was not an unknown person. He was also a famous master in Qingfeng City with the 8th level of physical training. He was defeated by the new leader of Qingfeng sect with one palm. If he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, who would believe it? How is this possible? Elder Lu's cultivation at the 8th level of physical training was defeated by one move, and he was defeated by Qin Ye. Am I dreaming? One move, and he was defeated. Why is Sect Master Qin so strong? Isn't it rumored that he only has the 5th level of physical training? Are the rumors false? This Qin Ye is actually very strong and has already broken through to the 9th level of physical training. This is unlikely. If he had been so strong before, he wouldn't have been seriously injured in an attack. Is the Qingfeng sect going to rise again? That while everyone was eating the melon, they were also puzzled. The Qingfeng sect was clearly in decline and was about to collapse, but the new sect leader became stronger as if he had taken an elixir. Only Wu Xian'er stood there calmly, without the slightest surprise, because she knew that the head brother had already reached the innate realm, and even if he was not invincible in Qingfeng City, there were not many people who dared to offend him. Ding! Congratulations to the host for defeating Lu Yi, the elder of the outer sect of the Tiger Fist sect. He won the first battle and will reward the host with a blind box. Qin Ye was instantly shocked. After defeating an elder from the outer sect of the Tiger Fist sect, he actually got a blind box. He didn't know if there would be anything good in the blind box. This system is indeed very powerful and is indeed a must-have for the protagonist. Qin Ye clicked on the introduction about blind boxes. Blind box, a system reward. The host can click on it to get various unique treasures such as skills, elixirs, and characters to help the host grow. If you are unlucky, it may be an item of low value or an empty box. Chapter 5 Fame in Qingfeng City. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Qin Ye did not open the blind box right now, but waited until he got back to open it, not in a hurry. Tiger Fist Sect is nothing more than that. Wu Xian'er raised her little fist and said sarcastically. It's just that this look is cute no matter how you look at it. Qingfeng Sect and Tiger Fist Sect have a feud, and now that Tiger Fist Sect came to cause trouble, Wu Xian'er naturally would not be polite. The faces of the disciples of Tiger Fist Sect suddenly darkened, but they did not dare to refute. Even the elders of the outer sect were not their opponents, let alone them. Qin Ye was slapping the face of their Tiger Fist Sect, but they did not even dare to refute, not to mention how aggrieved they were. City Lord's mansion. City Lord Zhou Dehai heard that he had a good-looking skin, but did not perform well. I didn't expect that after being seriously injured, he became so powerful. Is there any adventure? City Lord, could they be acting? The deacon who reported the intelligence said in confusion. Impossible. Qingfeng Sect and Huchuan Sect have been fighting over resources for several years, and there have been casualties on both sides. This time, Qingfeng Sect was attacked on the way back. I suspected that it was the means of Huchuan Sect, but there is no evidence. Besides, even if there is evidence, what does it matter? Sects are not under the jurisdiction of the court. The grievances between sects should be resolved by themselves, as long as they do not involve the safety of Qingfeng City. Zhou Dehai stood up and said slowly, the relationship between sects and dynasties is a bit subtle. Those big sects do not take the dynasty seriously at all, and most of those small sects are attached to the big sects, so basically the dynasty can't control it even if it wants to. Keep paying attention to this Qin Ye. This person may not be that simple. If he has a need, as long as it is not excessive, give him convenience. Zhou Dehai ordered. Yes. City Lord. The deacon responded. My Huchuan sect does not need a little girl like you to evaluate it. As the voice fell, two middle-aged men came out, followed by a group of disciples. One of the middle-aged men looked at Qin Ye with a murderous look on his face. Master, that the elder Lu and the disciples immediately bowed respectfully. Everyone was shocked. It turned out that the master of the Tiger Fist Sect had arrived. This was rare. In Qingfeng City, the truly powerful figures, besides the city lord, were the masters of several major sections. He pressed his whole body of momentum towards Qin Ye and Wu Xian'er. Qin Ye pulled Wu Xian'er behind him, but he himself did not move. You are quite capable. No wonder you can injure my outer sect elder. The middle-aged man was surprised to see that his momentum pressure failed to hurt Qin Ye. The master of the Tiger Fist Sect is here. This is going to be a good show. Master Zhou is a person who has stepped half a foot into the innate realm. This kid is dead now. I heard that Master Zhou once fought a monster for thousands of moves. Although he was defeated in the end, being able to fight a monster for thousands of moves is already very terrifying. This strength is probably comparable to that of the innate. With Master Zhou here, the Qingfeng sect may be expelled today. At this time, more and more people were watching, including disciples and stewards from other sects, as well as major families in Qingfeng City. Even if they had never dealt with the Tiger Fist Sect, many of them had seen him. Look, isn't the man next to Master Zhou Zheng Wuyang, the master of the Iron Sword Sect? Someone was sharp-eyed and recognized the identity of the other middle-aged man at a glance. It immediately caused another uproar. The master of the Tiger Fist Sect was actually walking with the master of the Iron Sword Sect. Did the two sects form an alliance? Brother Zheng, let's talk about that later. Let me deal with these two juniors first. Master Zhou said to Zheng Wuyang. No problem, Master Zhou, please do as you please. Zheng Wuyang smiled and said gracefully. Master Zhou walked up to Elder Lu, snorted coldly, and cursed, Waste, you really disgraced our Tiger Fist sect. Elder Lu lowered his head in shame, but he couldn't stop cursing in his heart. He had offended Master Zhou in his early years, so he had to be an outer sect elder. Perhaps because of this, he did not remind Master Qin Ye that he might be in the innate realm. Master Zhou walked up to Qin Ye and showed his 9th level aura without reservation. Young man, it's not too late to beg for mercy now. This master can spare your life for the sake of our two families' usual face. Qin Ye ignored his words. It was true that if he beat the younger one, the older one would come. If he defeated Elder Lu, he would get a blind box. If he defeated sect leader Zhou, he should also get a blind box. In his eyes, sect leader Zhou was a glittering blind box waving at him, so, Qin Ye made his move without saying a word. He used the 8-9 mysterious skills, and the aura of the Xiantian realm soared into the sky without reservation. Qin Ye made his move, he swung out a palm, as fast as lightning. In sect leader Zhou's eyes, this was not just one palm, but 10 palms, 100 palms, and he could not tell which one was real. And which one was fake, and he could not intercept it. Not good. Xiantian realm, that when sect leader Zhou determined that Qin Ye was in the Xiantian realm, it was too late. Like Elder Lu, sect leader Zhou could not dodge this palm at all and was knocked away immediately. Xiantian realm. Zheng Wuyang was closest to Master Zhou, so he felt Qin Ye's aura and judged Qin Ye's realm. Silence. The whole space was silent. The master of the Tiger Fist sect personally tried to suppress Qin Ye, but was knocked away by Qin Ye with the same palm. This was simply too shocking. This. Qin Ye, no, sect master Qin is so strong that he defeated sect master Zhou so easily. His strength must be in the Xiantian realm. A deacon of the Baisha sect who was watching said in shock. Hiss. This sect master Qin is so powerful. It seems that the Qingfeng sect is about to rise. Go and inform the city lord. It has been confirmed that sect master Qin is in the Xiantian realm. A deacon of the city lord's mansion immediately ordered. How could the Qingfeng sect produce such a monster? How can we live? I have decided. I will not join the Tiger Fist sect. I want to join the Qingfeng sect. The young people who originally wanted to join other sects turned their minds and wanted to join the Qingfeng sect. Anyone with a little brain can see that the Qingfeng sect will rise completely after today. Congratulations to Sect Master Qin for achieving the Xiantian at such a young age. If you have time, I hope you will come to the Iron Sword sect as a guest. Zheng Wuyang greeted Qin Ye with a smile. Qin Ye nodded slightly. Zheng Wuyang's words caused another uproar. Sure enough, Sect Master Qin had broken through to the innate realm. Doesn't that mean Qin Ye is already the best master in Qingfeng City? This made more young people want to join the Qingfeng sect. Joining a sect with innate masters is definitely a promising future. Ding, congratulations to the host for defeating the leader of the Tiger Fist sect, improving the reputation of the Qingfeng sect, and rewarding the host with a blind box. The voice of the system sounded again in Qin Ye's mind. Qin Ye almost couldn't help laughing out loud. This system is still as powerful as ever. Another blind box was obtained. Chapter 6 Myriad Families and Myriad Dust. You are listening at novelfull.audio. However, now that his strength has been exposed, no one has come out again. The leader of the Tiger Fist sect was defeated, and other sects dared not to take action. The people of the Tiger Fist sect had already slipped away in disgrace, and Qin Ye did not keep them. The purpose of his coming today was to accept disciples, not to fight. As for revenge for his master, this matter is not urgent. It will not be too late to take revenge after finding the murderer. Qin Ye returned to the stall, glanced at everyone, and said in a deep voice, My Qingfeng sect is open to accept disciples. There is only one chance. If you miss today, you will regret it for the rest of your life. Qin Ye took out a sign and put it on the stall. It read, Point 1. Rape and looters will not be accepted. Point 2. Those who are sneaky and cunning will not be accepted. Point 3. Those with bad intentions will not be accepted. The Qingfeng sect stall, which had been unpopular, had already been surrounded by people at this time. Those young people who had joined other sects before regretted it at this time. If they had known earlier, they would come to Qingfeng sect to try their luck here. They naturally dared not come to Qingfeng sect again. After all, they had already agreed to join other sections. If they regretted it, the consequences would not be something they could bear. However, the stalls of other sects were deserted and no one was interested, which formed a sharp contrast with Qingfeng sect. The elders and deacons of the 5 major sects were very angry, but they could not do anything to Qin Ye. If they stepped forward to stop him, they would only ask for trouble. Moreover, with Qin Ye's current strength, they could only make friends and dare not make enemies. Sect Master Qin, look at me, I want to join Qingfeng sect. Sect Master Qin, look at me quickly, my father is the head of the Hong family. What is the Hong family? Sect Master Qin, I am the legitimate son of the Wan family, and my Wan family is one of the 4 major families. Sect Master Qin, I have admired Qingfeng sect since I was a child. Sect Master Qin, please accept me. Looking at the young people who were scrambling to join Qingfeng sect, Qin Ye smiled. With so many people signing up, it seems that there is hope to recruit candidates who meet the system today. Qin Ye also saw that the 4 major families in Qingfeng City had brought people. Although the strength of these 4 major families was not as good as the 5 major sects, they had been entrenched in Qingfeng City for many years and still had some strength. However, Qin Ye was not interested in the so-called 4 major families. Such ordinary families only had some money, and most of them were vassals of the sects, otherwise they would not survive at all. For example, the Hong family, as far as Qin Ye knew, had a close relationship with the Iron Sword sect. Qin Ye asked everyone to line up and directly use the system to test their qualifications. Poor qualifications, next one. Poor qualifications, next one. Poor qualifications, next one. Qin Ye's face was dark. He tested dozens of people in a row, but no one was qualified. The best one was only of medium qualifications, but it also did not meet the requirements of the system. Those teenagers who were rejected could only leave sadly and try their luck at other sect stalls. Other sects thought they would return empty-handed this time, but they did not expect that those teenagers would come to them again. They naturally knew that these teenagers were the ones left over by Qin Ye, but what did it matter, as long as they met the requirements of their sects to recruit disciples? I think the Qingfeng sect has completely expanded. They don't know east, west, south, or north. Do they really think that a peerless genius can appear in our broken place? You can't say that. Isn't this sect Master Qin himself? TSK. What peerless genius? Wasn't he at the 5th level of physical training some time ago? He must have eaten some rare treasures, otherwise how could he break through to the innate level in a few days? If I meet him one day, maybe I can become a strong innate person. Isn't this good? Under this situation, he can't recruit a single disciple. By the time he reacts, these young people have entered our sect. No matter how powerful he is just ahead of the sect. Without a single disciple, what kind of sect is it? That just now, Qin Ye stole the limelight. Now the major sects are naturally willing to see the joke of Qingfeng sect. They dare not talk about it openly, but only secretly discuss it behind their backs. As time passed, they were eliminated one by one, and Qin Ye's face became more and more ugly. The head of a small family had a sullen face, but he didn't dare to get angry with Qin Ye. He swallowed his anger and asked, Master Qin, although my son is not a peerless genius, he still has some reputation in Qingfeng City. He has broken through to the 2nd level of body refining at the age of 10 this year. Isn't this talent not in the eyes of Master Qin? That those who didn't dare to speak up also echoed one by one at this time. That's right, Master Qin, you have to give us an explanation. My son is at the 3rd level of body refining, but he was rejected. I hope Master Qin, you can give us an explanation. Master Qin, if you don't want to accept him, give us a reason. Qin Ye also hopes to accept more people. Some of them have good talents, even better than himself, but they really don't meet the system requirements. The system requires that only peerless geniuses can be accepted into Qingfeng sect. It is obvious that this dog system is more about quality than quantity. The reason I just gave you is that their qualifications do not meet the requirements for joining my Qingfeng sect. After thinking about it, Qin Ye still answered their questions. What qualifications can be accepted into Qingfeng sect? The head of the family asked indignantly. His youngest son's talent is definitely among the best in Qingfeng city. It would be easy for him to join any sect. As long as he is given time and does not die young, he will definitely become an elder and bring endless benefits to the family. But now he doesn't even have the qualifications to join the Qingfeng sect. When we recruit disciples, we only look at their aptitude, not their cultivation. If their aptitude does not meet the requirements, even if they are at the Xiantian realm, the Qingfeng sect will not accept them. Qin Ye said lightly. What? As soon as Qin Ye said this, the square was in an uproar again. Everyone thought that Qin Ye was bragging. A Xiantian realm expert could walk sideways in the Qingfeng sect, so how could he join the Qingfeng sect? Humph. It doesn't matter if you don't join the Qingfeng sect. Most people knew that they did not meet the requirements, shook their heads and sighed and left. There were also very few people who thought they were the genius of Bailey Wui, and stayed with full confidence, while a very small number of people stayed just to try their luck, but without exception, these people were also eliminated. At this moment, a weak and pale boy was supported by an old servant. He walked slowly to Qin Ye step by step, bowed, and said in a firm tone, I am willing to join the Qingfeng sect. The identity of the boy was soon recognized, causing a commotion. Isn't that Wan Chen, the illegitimate son of the Wan family? Why is he here? He wants to join the Qingfeng sect. This is the illegitimate son of the Wan family's patriarch. I heard that he was born to a slave. It would be great if Wan Chen had talent, but unfortunately his talent is mediocre. The Wan family doesn't recognize him at all. I have a relative who works as a guard in the Wan family. Wan Chen was born weaker than ordinary people, and his physique is worse than that of ordinary people. He couldn't practice since he was a child. If he wasn't the illegitimate son of the Wan family, he would have died early. Even if he died, he would have lived better than now. I heard that the Wan family didn't treat him as a member of the Wan family at all. Not only did they let him live in a private courtyard, they didn't let him enter the Wan family gate. Even the people who took care of him were only a few old servants. Chapter 7 Super Talent. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What family of wealthy and powerful people doesn't have some dirty tricks? What's so strange about this? Not to mention that he is an illegitimate child. Even if he is a legitimate child, if he doesn't have talent, he won't be much better. However, this Wan Chen is indeed miserable. His body is so weak. If he can't practice, he may not live for a few years. This Wan Chen wants to join the Qingfeng sect, which is simply a foolish dream. Just now, the legitimate son of the Wan family didn't succeed, let alone he is a useless person. Wan Chen is definitely a celebrity in Qingfeng city. Of course, his fame is definitely not because of his talent, but because of his special identity. The Wan family is one of the 4 major families in Qingfeng city. It is powerful. The current head of the family also attaches great importance to cultivating the next generation, hoping to cultivate a congenital master in the younger generation. Even if he can't be congenital, he hopes to enter the upper echelons of the sect. Therefore, the head of the Wan family attaches great importance to the next generation and cultivates a lot of resources. Even if Wan Chen is an illegitimate child, he did not give up. However, Wan Chen was born with a useless body. No matter how many resources he had, it was useless to him. In the end, he could only give up and ignore him from then on. At most, he met him once or twice a year. Everyone knows what it means for a family to not be able to practice, so no one scolds the Wan family for being heartless. If this happened in their own family, they would do the same. However, Wan Chen's desire to join the Qingfeng sect was beyond everyone's expectations. Wan Long, the eldest son of the Wan family who was eliminated before, had already joined the Qingtian sect. Hearing the news, he came over with a few Wan family members in anger. "What are you doing here?" Wan Long asked angrily. "Brother, I want to join the Qingfeng sect." Wan Chen asked calmly, unable to tell whether he was happy or angry. "Even I was eliminated. You know what kind of physical condition you are in. Are you here to embarrass my Wan family?" Wan Long mocked. Wan Chen is an illegitimate child, and he has no talent. He poses no threat to Wan Long's status, but Wan Long just doesn't like Wan Chen. If he doesn't appear in front of him, he won't deliberately make trouble for Wan Chen, but Wan Chen came out to embarrass the Wan family, so he naturally won't let him go. Master Qin just said that we only look at aptitude, not cultivation. Brother, my physique has always been very special, perhaps extraordinary, so I came here to try it. Wan Chen said. In fact, Wan Chen just came here to try his luck. Originally, he was desperate, but when he heard about what happened in Qingfeng sect today from his servants, he wanted to come here to try his luck. You. Wan Chen said angrily, okay. Just come and try. So many geniuses are not qualified to join Qingfeng sect, and you are such a waste. I don't believe you can succeed. Master Qin, please check my aptitude. Wan Chen saluted respectfully to Qin Ye. Qin Ye looked at Wan Chen. This Wan Chen was actually quite handsome. If he had a little talent for cultivation, plus his family background, he would definitely be sought after by thousands of women in the city. It's just a pity that in this world, warriors are respected. A waste who can't practice, no matter how good-looking his face is, will not be liked by any woman. Putting aside other things, Qin Ye still admired Wan Chen, but he didn't know what Wan Chen's qualifications were. However, since he couldn't practice since he was a child, he didn't think his qualifications would be too high, therefore, Qin Ye didn't have much hope for him. System, check Wan Chen's qualifications. Qin Ye said to the system in his heart. Ding, Wan Chen, super qualifications. It is recommended that the host accept this person as a disciple. Qin Ye's face changed slightly, and he looked at Wan Chen in disbelief. In such a small place, how could there be a person with super qualifications? Such a person can't say that he can rule the world, but at least he can be invincible for a lifetime. System, you won't make a mistake, right? Qin Ye asked doubtfully. Please don't question the system will not detect errors. Wan Chen's physique is special. Once awakened, his talent will be super. Qin Ye understood that Wan Chen's physique had not awakened yet, so he was considered a waste. If it weren't for him, I'm afraid he would have lived a dull life. Then, Qin Ye was ecstatic. It was really a pillow when he was sleepy. He didn't have much hope for this recruitment, but he didn't expect to meet a peerless genius. After training his disciples in the future, he can live in Qingfeng sect and enjoy a good life, happily counting spirit stones. Wan Long saw the change in Qin Ye's face before, thinking that Wan Chen had no talent at all. He was ecstatic and shouted at Wan Chen, don't you think you are embarrassed enough? Go back quickly. But Wan Chen didn't pay any attention to Wan Long at all, but stared at Qin Ye with his eyes, fearing that Qin Ye would say the word eliminated. All his hopes are now on Qin Ye. If he doesn't join Qingfeng sect today, his fate can be imagined. Living a mediocre life like a mortal is not what he pursues. What are you still standing there for? Send my brother back quickly. Wan Long shouted at the Wan family children beside him. Yes, eldest son. The two Wan family children responded and walked towards Wan Chen. Seeing that Qin Ye had not spoken, Wan Chen was completely hopeless and said self-deprecatingly, does it mean that I, Wan Chen, really have no talent? I really won't live to be 20 years old. Another reason why Wan Chen was so anxious to join the Qingfeng sect was that his health was getting worse and worse. He had consulted a famous doctor in the city, who determined that he would not live to be 20 years old. He was already 16 years old this year, which meant that he only had 4 years to live. Humph. You should have thought of this before you came. I have reminded you not to embarrass yourself. Now, you have brought shame to my Wan family. Let's see how your father will deal with you when we go back. Wan Long sneered. The 2 Wan family members held Wan Chen without hesitation and were about to send him back. Slow. Qin Ye came back to his senses and scolded. The 2 Wan family members did not dare to disobey Qin Ye's orders and quickly let go of Wan Chen. Qin Ye looked at Wan Chen deeply and was extremely envious. This was a talent higher than his own. If he did not have a system, even if he practiced for another 100 years, he might not be able to compare with Wan Chen's 1 year of practice. However, fortunately, he had a system, and Qin Ye got a little comfort. The feeling of cheating is refreshing. You have a good talent, you can join my sect. Qin Ye looked at Wan Chen and said. Master, are you serious? Wan Chen asked in disbelief after a sudden turn of events. Yes. Qin Ye nodded slightly. Thank you, sect master. Wan Chen knelt down and kowtowed to Qin Ye. Qin Ye waved his hand, and a stream of true energy lifted up Wan Chen's body, and then said, You don't have to thank me, I am impressed by your talent. If you don't have talent, I won't accept you. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. How could Wan Chen have such a talent? That Wan Long shouted in disbelief. Chapter 8 Why am I the one who gets hurt? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Wan Chen, a lowly illegitimate child, a waste that he had looked down upon since childhood, suddenly became a genius that was beyond his reach. Wan Long almost suspected that he was dreaming, but he knew that all this was true. No, this is fake, absolutely fake, that Wan Long continued to roar. Qin Ye frowned slightly. This Wan Long obviously did not get along with Wan Chen. If it were placed in another family, if he could be admitted to the Qingfeng sect, he would probably be very happy, but this Wan Long obviously did not want Wan Chen to have an easy time. This was tested by the sect master himself. Big brother, do you suspect that the sect master tested it wrong? Wan Chen was a little speechless about Wan Long's reaction, restrained his smile, and said in a calm tone. I didn't. Wan Long reacted and immediately refuted. He didn't dare to offend Qin Ye. Shut up. With a loud shout, a middle-aged man came running over angrily, and with a snap, he slapped Wan Long in the face. Humph. You are the one who has brought shame to our Wan family. This middle-aged man was Wan Long and Wan Chen's father, Wan Yuanliang, the head of the Wan family. After receiving the report from the servants, he hurried over. Dad. Wan Long covered his mouth and looked at Wan Yuanliang in disbelief, not understanding why his father who always loved him hit him. Humph. Your brother is lucky enough to join the Qingfeng sect. You are not happy, but you are still questioning loudly here. Why don't you go back quickly? Wan Yuanliang said with regret. Afterwards, Wan Yuanliang asked Qin Ye respectfully, Master Qin, can my son really join your sect? Humph. Qin Ye snorted coldly, and his innate momentum suddenly pressed towards Wan Yuanliang. You also come to question me? Wan Yuanliang was injured by Qin Ye's innate momentum, and retreated several steps. He was shocked in his heart. He was indeed an innate strongman. If he wanted to kill him, it might be enough with one move. He said quickly, I dare not, I dare not. His talent is unique. If he can fully exert it, your Wan family will benefit infinitely. This is all I can say. Thinking that Wan Yuanliang is Wan Chen's father after all, Qin Ye still said one more sentence. After Wan Yuanliang heard it, his body was shocked. Qin Ye's words were not light. Could it be that his unloved illegitimate son really had such a talent? But no matter what, Wan Chen's joining the Qingfeng sect was a foregone conclusion, which was a happy event. Wan Yuanliang hurriedly thanked Qin Ye. Thank you, sect master. I will ask you to take care of my son in the future. Qin Ye nodded and looked at Wan Chen. Do you have anything else to take away? No. Wan Chen shook his head and said. Well, follow me back to the sect now. This is my Qingfeng sect's great elder Wu Xianer. you can call him Elder Wu. Qin Ye said. Meet the great elder. Wan Chen immediately greeted Wu Xianer. Wu Xianer's face was slightly red, and she was a little confused, with a little discomfort. She had only been in the sect for 2 years, and her cultivation had just broken through to the 5th level of physical training. She had become the great elder in a dream. Since the mission was completed, Qin Ye took Wu Xianer and Wan Chen to leave Qingfeng City and return to Qingfeng Sect. Qin Ye and the others left, but the square was in an uproar at this time. No one expected that Qingfeng Sect would be so strict in accepting disciples now, and unexpectedly, it was Wan Chen, a famous waste in Qingfeng City, who joined Qingfeng Sect. So many geniuses in Qingfeng City failed to join, but the waste succeeded. This is simply a huge irony. No one thought that Wan Chen was not a waste, but a genius. Now the Wan family is really famous. Yes, did you see that Wan Chen is so dignified at a young age? In addition, he is trained by the innate master Qin. Even if he cannot achieve innateness in the future, he will be a peak 9th level body training master. I wonder if he will retaliate against the Wan family. You know, the Wan family has no good face for him. The Wan family is also self-inflicted, but Wan Chen is surnamed Wan after all, so I don't think he will go too far. But I think the Wan family will definitely try their best to resolve this hatred. This is just a small matter. The real big thing is the rise of Qingfeng Sect. The other 5 major sects don't know how to deal with it. I hope there will be no more trouble. Qin Ye left, but the trouble he left behind was not small. From today on, Qin Ye will definitely be famous in Qingfeng City. The Qingfeng Sect, which was about to go bankrupt, suddenly rose up, and also produced a congenital master. The first threat was the 5 major sections. So, many people are worried about whether the 5 major sects will do something against Qingfeng Sect. Many young men in the field saw Wan Chen join the Qingfeng Sect, and they secretly hated him. They didn't know why Wan Chen was better than themselves. They didn't think Wan Chen had any talent, otherwise why couldn't Wan Chen practice at the age of 16? Why? Wan Chen, a waste, can enter the Qingfeng Sect, but I can't. Wan Long chattered to himself in the field. Wan Yuanliang looked at his lost soul, his eyes full of disappointment. Wan Long was his son who he focused on training, but his performance today made him too disappointed. He couldn't help but sigh in his heart. He didn't expect that his son who had given up would be favored by Qin Ye. This time, it was hard to predict whether it would be good or bad. Remember, in the future, Wan Chen is your brother, your real brother. I don't want to hear the word waste from you again. Wan Yuanliang warned. Although I don't know what qualifications Wan Chen has to be favored by the Qin sect master, I think his qualifications are definitely higher than ordinary people. My Wan family may be able to produce a congenital strongman. Speaking of this, Wan Yuanliang's eyes lit up. If his son could become a congenital strongman, then the Wan family would become the leader of the 4 major families in Qingfeng City and be able to compete with the sect. What? Dad, that trash. Wan Long wanted to refute, but before he finished speaking, Wan Yuanliang had already slapped him and slapped him away. Dad, you hit me again. Wan Long, who was helped up by the servants, was stunned. He had been spoiled since he was a child, so he had never suffered such grievances. Father said, don't say the word trash again. Remember, your brother is a genius. If you want to beat him, you must surpass him in martial arts. Father hopes that you will have this day. Wan Yuanliang sighed and said, although he said so, he knew very well in his heart that the gap between the two would only get bigger and bigger. City Lord's mansion. The city lord Zhou Dehai had received the report from his servants, and frowned and said, Qin Ye is indeed in the innate realm. The balance has been broken. I hope Qingfeng City will not be in chaos. Let people pay attention to the movements of the other 5 major sects and report any movement as soon as possible. Yes, City Lord. In addition, since Wan Chen was favored by Qin Ye, I think he is not what he seems on the surface. Let people pay attention to the Wan family. If the Wan family has any trouble, help them solve it. City Lord Zhou Dehai thought for a while and said, Qin Ye didn't accept so many geniuses, but he accepted Wan Chen. I think Wan Chen must have something that Qin Ye liked, so Zhou Dehai decided to make friends with the Wan family first. Chapter 9 Summoning Gui Hai Yi Dao. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Qingfeng Mountain, Qingfeng Sect. After Qin Ye, Wu Xianer, and Wan Chen left Qingfeng City, they soon returned to Qingfeng Sect. Qingfeng Sect is located on the top of Qingfeng Mountain, covering a vast area. It used to be beautiful, with many buildings and magnificent momentum. However, after experiencing many upheavals and falling into disrepair after its decline, it has now become dilapidated. Although some buildings have collapsed, they still have traces of battles on them, which shows that the upheavals that Qingfeng Sect experienced were not small. Although Qin Ye and Wu Xianer have long been accustomed to it, it is inevitable that they are a little embarrassed to have an outsider around them now. Looking at this dilapidated sect, Wan Chen is still a little confused despite some psychological preparation in his heart. This Qingfeng Sect is really miserable. Even the Wan family buildings are better than this Qingfeng Sect. No wonder the 5 major sects kicked Qingfeng Sect out, but Wan Chen is a little confused. The sect master is already a master of the innate realm. Why doesn't the appearance and environment of this Qingfeng Sect be dealt with? The sect is like a house. Without a bit of majesty, others will inevitably discriminate against it. Sect master, this. Wan Chen couldn't help but speak. Qin Ye took out the majesty of the main sect master, coughed, and said, My Qingfeng Sect has gone through hundreds of years. These dilapidated scenes are witnesses of history. We, the descendants, must always keep them in mind and contribute to the rise of Qingfeng Sect. It turned out that the sect master deliberately left it. Wan Chen was immediately excited and nodded heavily. Sect master, Wan Chen, will definitely live up to the trust of the predecessors of all generations and work hard for the rise of the sect. Rosie is teachable. Qin Ye nodded with satisfaction, thinking in his heart that this kid is really easy to fool, but the actual situation is that Qin Ye has just crossed over and has no time to clean up. Moreover, it costs a lot to repair these buildings. The valuable things in the sect have long been moved away by those brothers. Qin Ye has no money to repair them. Of course, these will definitely not be told to Wan Chen. The majesty of the sect and himself must be maintained. The 3 of them walked into the sect, and Qin Ye said to Wu Xianer, Take him to find a place to stay. Yes, master brother. Wu Xianer responded. Wu Xianer took Wan Chen to a building in the north, where the disciples' rest area was. It was in a mess, and some daily necessities were scattered everywhere on the ground. Wu Xianer blushed and explained, Originally, someone cleaned here every day, but something happened a few days ago, and the cleaning servants temporarily went down the mountain. Wan Chen nodded and said nothing. He came here to practice. As long as the master sincerely taught, he didn't care about anything else. Wu Xianer pointed to a large area of houses in front of him and said, There is no one here now, just choose one. Yes, great elder. Wan Chen responded and walked in. He found that the disciples' rooms were not very different, so he randomly chose one. Seeing that Wan Chen had already chosen a room, Wu Xianer said, You clean the room now. The master should summon you tomorrow. After that, Wu Xianer left in a hurry. What happened today shocked her. She also realized that she was not strong enough and made up her mind to break through the innate in a short time. Otherwise, if the disciples' strength exceeded her, she would not have the face to be the elder. Qin Ye returned to the bedroom and asked the system in a hurry, System, I have completed the task of accepting disciples. Where is the reward? That because he had not heard the system's prompt, Qin Ye hurriedly sent Wan Chen away and asked the system. Host, the task of accepting disciples has not been completed. The system's voice sounded in Qin Ye's ears. System, didn't I accept Wan Chen as a disciple? How could it not be completed? Qin Ye frowned and asked. Host, you just brought Wan Chen into the sect, and you haven't accepted him as a disciple yet. The system reminded. Qin Ye, although he made a mistake, Qin Ye was not in a hurry. Wan Chen had already entered the sect. This was like meat on the chopping board. He could accept him as a disciple at any time, and the system reward would not be his by then. Thinking of the 2 blind boxes he had received in the square but had not opened yet, Qin Ye quickly communicated with the system. System, open 2 blind boxes. Okay, host. The system agreed. The system prompt sounded in Qin Ye's mind soon. Ding! Congratulations to the host for opening a blind box and obtaining the heavenly level martial arts Tianyuan sword technique. Ding! Congratulations to the host for opening a blind box and obtaining a low-level character summoning card. Qin Ye's eyes lit up immediately, and he almost jumped 3 feet high with excitement. The system was still too generous. According to what Qin Ye knew from the records of the sect, the martial arts in this world are divided into 4 levels: heaven, earth, black and yellow, and the Qingfeng sect's martial arts are the lowest level of yellow. The heavenly level martial arts are unheard of in places like Qingfeng City. Now that the Qingfeng sect needs to rise, the martial arts are indispensable, and the Tianyuan sword technique just fills the gap in the martial arts. I will pass the Tianyuan swordsmanship to Wu Xiener and Wan Qin tomorrow. Qin Ye did not hesitate at all. Although the Tianyuan swordsmanship was good, it was not as good as the 8-9 mysterious arts he practiced. The 2 arts were not at the same level at all. System, what character does the character summon card summon? Qin Ye remembered that the blind box had opened a low-level character summoning card just now, and asked the system. Host, the low-level character summoning card can summon some low-level characters to the host, with varying strengths. These characters are 100% loyal to the host. After the host summons, they will find the host after an hour. The system replied. Well, then summon it. Ding, the host has a low-level character summoning card. Are you sure you want to use it? Use it. Qin Ye said without hesitation. Ding, opening the low-level character summoning card, summoning. Ding, congratulations to the host for the successful summoning. Congratulations to the host, successfully summoning Gui Hai Yi Dao. Gui Hai Yi Dao. Qin Ye's face was shocked. He was too familiar with this Gui Hai Yi Dao. Isn't this the #1 spy among the 4 spies in the hands of Zhu Wuxi, the iron-hearted god marquis in the world of Tian Xia De? His martial arts are top-notch even in Tian Xia De. He was once a disciple of Ba Dao, but he was better than his master and finally defeated Ba Dao. Later, in order to avenge his father's murder, he practiced Xiong Ba Tian Xia and Avici Dao Sen Dao. Because he couldn't control his inner demon, he cut off his right arm, but later he learned the left-handed sword technique and his strength was even better than before. I don't know what strength the person summoned by the system is. System, open Gui Hai Yi Dao's personal information. Suddenly, a screen that no one else could see appeared in front of Qin Ye. Character, Gui Hai Yi Dao, race, human, cultivation, Grandmaster level 1, skills, Zhu Qingzhan, Xiong Ba Tian Xia, Avici Dao Sen Dao, weapon, Fen Shui Bao Dao. Chapter 10, Friendship Among Various Forces. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Grandmaster level 1. Qin Ye stood up in shock. Grandmasters were definitely masters in the great Qin dynasty, and in a small place like Qingfeng City, let alone grandmasters, even in the innate realm, it is rare to see one in 100 years, and now Qingfeng sect is about to add a grandmaster, which means that Qingfeng sect will definitely become the overlord of Qingfeng City. Originally, his innate realm cultivation had already overwhelmed the other 5 major sects, and now there is a grandmaster in the sect, and the rise of Qingfeng sect is unstoppable. As far as Qin Ye knows, even the great Qin dynasty will not easily provoke a force with a grandmaster in charge. After all, the destructive power of a grandmaster is very terrifying. It's only an hour, Qin Ye can still wait. Wan Qin cleaned his residence and walked out, starting to wander around Qingfeng sect, and by the way, he learned about Qingfeng sect. Except for the Qin sect master and the great elder who let him in before, there was really no one. No wonder no one even cleaned the ground. Unconsciously, he walked to the kitchen. When he saw that the kitchen was empty, the corner of his mouth twitched, and he touched his stomach unconsciously, regretting not bringing some food. he really didn't expect that Qingfeng sect was so poor that it didn't even have food. He couldn't help but sigh and said to himself, I don't know what the sect master and the great elder will eat tonight. Then he shook his head and said self-deprecatingly, the sect master and the others are cultivators. It's okay if they don't eat for a few days, but I haven't started practicing yet. If I don't eat, I will starve to death. Alas, the sect master must have forgotten. I'd better go find something to eat. So Wan Chen wandered around and found something to eat. An hour later, a figure appeared at the gate of Qingfeng sect. Looking up at the gate of Qingfeng sect, the man coldly spit out a few words, Qingfeng sect, finally arrived, let's go to see the sect master quickly. He was Gui Hai Dao summoned by the system. The characters summoned by the system appear at random locations, not necessarily within the scope of Qingfeng sect. Gui Hai Dao walked into Qingfeng sect and was seen by Wan Chen, who was looking for food everywhere. Wan Chen was stunned. The aura of this person who suddenly appeared was so terrifying, even more terrifying than that of the sect master. However, this person's face was extremely cold, and he looked like he was keeping people away from him, which made Wan Chen a little confused, but soon, Wan Chen regained his composure. Looking at the man in front of him, Wan Chen secretly guessed who this person was and why he came to Qingfeng sect. He hesitated for a moment, but still stepped forward to block Gui Hai Dao's way, and saluted respectfully. I wonder why the senior came to my Qingfeng sect. Gui Hai Dao glanced at Wan Chen, and his figure flashed, and he disappeared in front of Wan Chen. This. Wan Chen looked at the place where Gui Hai Dao disappeared, and muttered to himself, how could such a powerful warrior exist? What is he doing in Qingfeng sect? No. He must be here to find the sect master. Wan Chen's face changed, and he hurried to find Qin Ye. At this moment, a voice came from the backyard, don't worry, he is our senior in Qingfeng sect. He was practicing outside before and just returned to the sect today. In addition, there are many fruit trees in the back mountain, which can fill your stomach. All of Wan Chen's actions in Qingfeng sect were under Qin Ye's surveillance. Of course, Qin Ye did not deliberately monitor, but everything that happened in Qingfeng sect, as long as he wanted to know, as long as he had a thought, everything that happened would be known at the first time. Wan Chen was looking for food everywhere, which made Qin Ye a little embarrassed. He did ignore it. The moment Gui Hai Dao walked into Qingfeng sect, Qin Ye had already sensed it, so he rumored to stop Wan Chen. In addition, he was very satisfied with Wan Chen's performance. He clearly saw that Gui Hai Dao was very strong, but he still came out to stop him, which was enough to explain everything. Gui Hai Dao found Qin Ye's residence, and after seeing Qin Ye, he saluted Qin Ye and said, meet the sect master. Qin Ye looked at Gui Hai Dao. Gui Hai Dao's face was indeed cold, and he looked like he was keeping people away. Fortunately, his arms were intact, so his strength would be stronger. You will take the position of elder temporarily, and the specific position will be arranged later. Yes, sect master. Gui Hai Dao did not refuse. He was 100% loyal to Qin Ye, so he would not refuse no matter how Qin Ye arranged him. You go down and rest first. Qin Ye asked Gui Hai Dao to find a room to live in, and began to plan how Qingfeng sect would rise. Now that there is Gui Hai Dao, even if other sects have trump cards, he is not afraid. Only one sect can dominate Qingfeng city. If any sect is not convinced, he will be beaten to submission. Afterwards, Qin Ye sent a message to Wu Xianer and Wan Chen. Another elder? Wu Xianer was a little confused, but then shook her head. It should be where the head brother recruited him from. After all, the head brother has so many treasures in his hands, it is still very easy to recruit one or two masters. She doesn't believe that the head brother only has body training pills and spirit stones in his hands. There must be better things, however, these are irrelevant, and improving strength is still important. It's actually the elder of the sect. Wan Chen couldn't believe it when he heard Qin Ye's voice transmission. The man's aura was obviously several times stronger than that of the sect master. How could he be just an elder? The sect master was already a powerful Xiantian realm master, so the realm of this elder, Wan Chen couldn't imagine it anymore. Then, Wan Chen's face was ecstatic. He really came to the right place. Now there are already 2 Xiantian realm masters. This is definitely the largest force in Qingfeng City. Soon after Qin Ye left Qingfeng City, the information that Qin Ye was a Xiantian realm expert was passed back to all the major forces. The leader of the Black Bear sect and the elders unanimously decided to do their best to make friends with the Qingfeng sect. After all, the Black Bear sect and the Qingfeng sect had no conflicts. Although the relationship was not that close, they had suppressed the Qingfeng sect before, but now that the Qingfeng sect had a Xiantian realm expert, they could only do their best to be better. So, the Black Bear sect sent an elder with generous gifts to the Qingfeng sect. Qingtian sect, the leader of the Qingtian sect said to the elders in the sect, although the new leader is in the Xiantian realm, I think he has just broken through. Although my Qingtian sect does not have a Xiantian expert, I am not afraid. So I sent someone to send some generous gifts to congratulate him on his new position as the leader. The Qingtian sect has been able to stand for hundreds of years. In addition to its own strength, more importantly, they also have a backer behind them, and this backer is very strong, no worse than the backers of other sections. Master, will the new leader take the opportunity to investigate the murderer to deal with us? An elder asked cautiously. The leader of the Qingtian sect said calmly, we were not involved in that incident. If he wants to deal with us, let him produce evidence. If he really wants to unify Qingfeng City, it is simply wishful thinking for him to break through the Xiantian realm. Not to mention that the power behind him is very powerful. It is not difficult to deal with Xiantian masters. Even if he is the Qingtian sect, if he is willing to spend a lot of money, he can invite Xiantian masters. After all, he is unwilling to do so unless he is in a desperate situation. Whether it is to invite Xiantian masters or to invite the power behind them, it will cost a lot of resources, and these resources are all for training disciples in the sect. Unless it is absolutely necessary, he is naturally unwilling to do so.